Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast with my man DT in the building. DT, hi, welcome along. Wow, what a week this has been. You know, we lost a good one this week. We lost a good one. Claude, you know, everybody knows, you know, what's happened. He passed away on Monday night. Really, really sad. Let me just put this straight out there as well, because there was lots of rumors flying around at the time that he'd taken his own life. He did not take his own life. He had a lot to live for, and he did not take his own life. Claude died of natural causes. He had a heart condition. A lot of people didn't know about that, but he did have a heart condition, and that is ultimately what took his life. You know, there's been a post-mortem done and everything. And I mean, I knew from the night. I couldn't obviously confirm it because, you know, the paramedics and that are like, you know, post-mortems and that have to be done. But I knew from the night, you know, the paramedics had already said, you know, we're looking, there's no signs of any foul play, no signs of any suicide or anything like that. It's, it looks like he's had a massive heart attack, and that's what it's turned out to be. And it's really, really sad. It's just such a horrible week it's been, you know. Claude was part of the AFTV family from literally the start. He's one of the first people I interviewed who became like a big, you know, like literally almost like star on the platform. And, you know, over the years we became good friends. You know, Claude was Claude. He had the kindest heart you could ever think of. He was the most stubborn person you would ever think of. He loved an argument, as you'll know. He's you. He was like you. He was very similar to you, but you know, he was such. Honestly, I miss the guy so much. I said it in one of the videos I did. Like I think I did a video with James, like previewing the Liverpool game, and I said, you know, I woke up the next day honestly thinking, please let this be a dream. This is like, it didn't happen. You know what I mean? I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and, you know, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, but that I genuinely woke up thinking dream. And then like, where it weren't a dream. And thank you to everybody for all of your wonderful messages. I've passed as many of them as possible onto the family. We're supporting the family through this. You know, obviously, you know, it's at this time to have to be putting together funerals and things like that are really hard. So we're supporting the family. I've spoken to his daughter extensively. She's a really lovely person. And, you know, they're going to be setting up a GoFundMe page. I'm not sure if it's been set up yet, but if it is, I'll put the link in the description. Anybody who wants to contribute anything towards the family in this really hard time, and even if it's just messages of support, they are absolutely loving those messages of support. Big up Arsenal Football Club for the tweet that they put out, supporting Claude. That, when I showed his daughter, she was close to tears. She's like, Robbie, he would have absolutely loved this. He adored Arsenal. He adored Arsenal. He adored football. He loved interacting with the fans. That's what I said in the video that I did on Tuesday, that he more than anybody felt this lockdown, because Claude loved being at games. Claude loved being around fans. And he missed that sorely. I spoke to him and he said, you know, I know Helen spoke to him all the time. He missed football badly, really, really badly. And this is some of the effects of the lockdown, you know, that, you know, and we've been stuck at home for so long. We've had things taken away from us that we enjoy, like in Claude's case, football. And you've not been able to meet people. And sometimes you're at home and you're just sitting there and you're eating and you're drinking. And it's been very poor, very bad for our health in general. This, you know, apart from the fact that you could go out and catch COVID, is the fact that, you know, you get yourself into really bad habits being at home. And these are some of the effects, the hidden effects of COVID of this COVID pandemic, that like the knock-on effect of these lockdowns and stuff like. And I know the reasons why we've had to have the lockdowns, but it's honestly, it's been such a sad and such a moving week. You know,
mad, Robbie,
yeah,
man. It's do you know what? I'm still. I don't know what to say in some respects still, because it's, you know what it is, right? Some of the words that you used to sum him up were so true, and they put a smile on my face, because I just think about some of the things, and stubborn is most definitely one of those words. And yeah, that is me and him to a T. Argued like cats and dogs. Like, you thought him and Ty were argued. Some of the stuff that we've argued about, whether it's been on coaches, outside the stadiums, inside the stadiums. But what's always brought us together is the love of Arsenal. It doesn't matter what difference of opinion you may have. It's always been that love. And I look at so many things that have happened lately, and I've got regrets as well. And, you know, obviously Claude took exception to the rats comment that I made a long time ago, and obviously thought it was directed at him, which it never was. And I looked at it and I was just like, I see him going off on one about me and stuff, and I'd be like, here he goes again. Because that's him. I knew. We've done it before. And if football was on, we would have actually sorted it out a long time ago, because I would have seen him at a game. I would have been sitting next to him and Ty with my head in my hands thinking, oh no, not these two again. And we would have just sorted it as we always did. But because there was no football, it just, you never got to see him. You never got the chance. And I never wanted to have like a public spat with him or anything like that. Like, we've done that kind of stuff in the past. And all that does is fuel, you know, the people that want to see that kind of stuff. They don't care about you. They care about, you know, getting their popcorn out and looking at these two having an argument together. Yeah, let's stir the pot some more. So that's why I was always just ignoring it. And I was like, you know what? I'll see him at a game when we go back to football. And I'll say to him, I say, Claude, come on, man. You know it's not about you. Listen, you just like, oh, we're so stubborn. I am, he is. And it's just, that's what I will live with, in that sense, that I just never, you know, reached out to him to say that. But you never think that tomorrow may be your last opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
true.
my thought is just always, you know what, we'll be back to football soon. Let him go and rant and rave about me and, oh, that bloody DT, you see him? And it's just like, and I'm just like, go on, Claude, go off on one, it's fine. And I've spoke to Helen. He was doing a show recently when he was on there with her, and he was going off on one about me, and he was like, I'll give you a clue who he is, behave. And I see the video, and I actually started laughing at it, because I was just like,
funny, man.
I was like, that's Claude, man. I was like, leave him to do what he's doing, man. I said, if he feels all right about it, it's cool, just leave it. And I'll see him at a game and I'll sort it out. We always have done. And, you know, there's so many things that happen behind the scenes that people don't realise. People seem to think that, you know, we all cut ties with Claudes after he left AFTV and stuff like that. That's not the case. Everybody was in communication with him. People did speak to him. Yes, he was hurt about certain, you know, aspects of everything and what he felt was right or wrong. And it's just, people don't see that. People don't see.
Me and him spoke regularly.
I know you did.
And you know, he was still cool, man. And me and him were still cool with each other. And we were always, you know, there'd be games we talk about. There'd be situations we talk about. I said already, you know, in that video I did earlier this week when I got COVID, one of the first people to message me, Claude, when he was put a little madness out one day on his Twitter, you know, I was like, he said to me, "Oh, you're the first people to get in contact with me. I'm speaking to him." I'm like, "Yo, Claude, what are you doing, bro? Stop this, man. Come on." He's like, nah, Robbie, I'm not doing nothing. He goes, Claude, honestly, man, there's never going to be another one of him.
Never.
I've had so many, and as I said, I've had so many messages. You know, Alex, who used to sell the Gooner and that, and he was telling me how Claude used to drive him to games and stuff like that years ago. I remember when I first met Claude, this is when he used to work for Addison Lee.
Yeah, he was a taxi
driver.
Remember?
He always used to have his suit on and that, and he'd drive, right? And that guy was saying to me how he used to drive him, and I know he used to give loads of people like lifts to games. Honestly, man, that guy, he was so kind-hearted. He's kind-hearted, man.
Do you know the maddest thing is, like, obviously I look back on some of the messages and the inboxes that I'd got from him on Twitter as well as text messages or whatever it might be, and I looked at some of the old ones, and it would be like, I remember when my uncle passed away recently, and there's a message from Claude.
Yeah, no,
just saying about, I know things might be tough for you at the moment. I can't remember what the words. It was only a short message just saying, I know things might be tough for you at the minute. Keep your head up. And it's just like, and even, you know, even my oldest boy, Kieran, because obviously he knew him, and Claude was managing at AFTV FC at the time when Kieran was playing. So they had a relationship and stuff. And it was like, you know, when he was doing his boxing training for his match and everything else, he'd send him messages and he's like, good luck, mate, I'm behind you. And just all those kind of things. Claude, and people don't see none of that stuff.
Yeah, I know what I say with the lockdown, right? I remember, so just to give you an example of Claude, why he always wanted to be sort of around and involved with things, and the lockdown didn't help him at all, is the perfect example was the football team, right? He started coming to all the training sessions. And then he just asked me one day, Robbie, he goes, can I start doing like the coaching and stuff like that? And I said to him, yeah, you can. But I know you'll scare all the players off. You start slagging them all off. He goes, no. I said, of course you can, man. Of course you can. So he started going to the training. And I remember Scully rang me up one day and he goes, yeah, Robbie, Claude's brilliant, man. He goes, he's at every single training session. He's always encouraging the guys. The guys really, really like him. You know, again, and those sort of things, Claude lived for those things. So that would get him out and about. It would get him around people. He loved that. He loved that. And that's why that's why I pull it back to the lockdown, where now all of a sudden he's just stuck in a room and he's not able to go to watch Arsenal. He's not able to go and do AFTV FC. He's not able to go and, you know, do even some of the other things he did with the, you know, the guys, the Banster guys, and he did stuff with Lee Gunner and all that. But he's doing it all remotely. It's not like he's not being able to be there with them and have that. Yeah. And I think he missed that really, really badly. Yeah, and you know,
do you know what the one thing as well, Robbie, is that obviously once that period where you just feel so kind of like, I don't know what to say, kind of in shock, kind of subsides a little bit. And then you start seeing over the last few days the memories that people have had, the funny stories. And, you know, even, you know, they're not my great, like I shared some of the stories of my times and some of the things that I've done with him. And they might seem like the most weirdest kind of memory, like when we first started doing live streams and he forgot to turn his mic off and he went for a pee. And like everyone on the live stream could hear him going for a pee, and all they could hear is like, oh, like when you're relieved, like you're going for that piss, and and everyone's on the live stream, we're like, Claude, you ain't turned your mic off. And like, you won't understand why that's funny, like to us, because that's him. I was doing, when the lockdown first begun, and I was doing quiz shows against Goldbridge, and it was me and Claude. Because you were meant to be on one of them, and you did it, and Claude took over from you. So it was me and Claude versus Goldbridge and Rance, I think it was. And as the stream went on and on and on, Claude got more and more drunk to the point where he couldn't even answer the questions, and he was like, "Oh, sod it!"
I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. When it used to come to quizzes and that, he was the don, mate. I'm telling you, he knew everything about Arsenal. He knew every date. He knew his Arsenal knowledge was unreal.
the problem is, Robbie, you put him in a quiz with me where it was general knowledge, not Arsenal.
Yeah,
so they
went up on the general knowledge stuff.
They were asking questions about, you know, planets and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that word is.
Claude was literally sitting there with every question, and you could see him filling up his glass more and more. Like, I don't bloody know what that is. And it's just, you know, do you remember when we first decided that? You know, I started DTFC and we first started our first games, and it was on one of the Blood Brothers series. And Claude randomly turned up at one of my games, and he was behind one of the fences in the background, like Bielsa. And we clocked him. And I'm like, what are you doing here, spying on us? And he went, I'm going for my daily walk. And we were like, you don't walk anywhere, Claude. What are you spying on? Do you know what I mean? And he was laughing his head off. And there's just so many funny memories. Mate, listen,
gonna really miss him. I mean, listen,
mate,
you know what I was thinking, right, to do is when we do the watch along. Claude was born I think on the 19th of October. I know it's really difficult for Arsenal at the moment to do anything for him because there's no fans in there, and I think probably they might, because it's actually this is the week 20th anniversary of the death of David Rocastle as well.
Yeah.
Suddenly, how ironic is that? Because I can tell you that was Claude's favourite ever Arsenal player. His favourite player. He's gone up to meet him now, right? And I no doubt Arsenal will be doing something on that. Lucas Torreira's lost his mum as well this week. It's been, But what I'd like to do probably, and what I'd like to encourage people to do, right? And this is just, you know, this would be a nice thing to do. Is on 19 minutes. He was born on the 19th of October, I think it was, right? I'll double check that, right? But on the 19th minute of the game, a minute's applause. Wherever you're watching that game, no matter who you support, a minute's applause. Just, you know, you'll be watching it at home, just get up and a minute's applause. You'll hear it, right? Just to show the world of football how much they appreciated this guy. So on the 19th minute, we're going to do it on the watch along. I'm encouraging people to do that wherever you're watching the game. On the 19th minute, let's all give Claude a minute's applause, right? And salute a guy that epitomized football fans around the world, right? Is that, you know, when you love your club, you heard him moaning, but he moaned because he loved Arsenal so much.
Yeah, he did.
Right? And he didn't always just moan as well. If you saw that guy, when we won things, that guy would, he would be speechless. He would be emotional.
Yeah,
that's how much he loved Arsenal. So,
it is. And
you know, we on the 19th minute of the Liverpool game at the weekend.
And I can
that's
guarantee
what we're going to do. And you know, that's what, if you can do that.
Do you know what
us,
as well, Robbie? I can guarantee he'll be up there telling us all to sit down and telling us to stop doing it. And he'll be like, oh no. And do you know what? The final thing on that is that as well, because obviously he will be remembered for so many little catchphrases and moments, and we've all got our own ones and stuff. But obviously for me, opening up a pathway for people like me when the whole phenomenon burst onto the scene of AFTV and stuff, and the milk went stale and everything, that's when it really kind of went boom. And I was like, wow, like, but the one for me, and I don't think that anybody can do this without replicating his voice, Time to God. Okay, that for me, when you say those words, you don't just say time to go. You genuinely sit there and say, it's time to go. You have...
And the
he's
reality,
left the legacy, man.
Yeah, he's left the legacy, and the reality of the situation, it was his time to go. And we all have our time when we're going to go as well, and it was his time to go. You know what I mean? It's not down to us. Unfortunately, you know, we try and live forever, we would, but it's not down to us, and we're all going to have a time when we go, and this was his time. And as I said, it's so ironic that it's in the same week as his favourite player, the 20th anniversary of the passing of David Rocky Rocastle.
I know.
So, you know, saluting
like
Claude, man. Saluting
destiny,
Claude.
Man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's destiny. Life,
of course.
Life takes you down avenues that nobody knows, man. And it's... Yeah,
Oh,
man. There's
of
so
course,
much love
of
out
course,
there.
you know, he would have been looking forward to the game this weekend. Arsenal taking on Liverpool, huge game, massive game. Well, normally a massive game, not as massive as normal because we're both kind of almost like
Crap.
you know, we're both having a terrible season. But it's a game for pride, but it's not just a game for pride. I mean, I guess for Liverpool, you know, they still got, you know, hopes of maybe getting in the top 4. Arsenal still got hopes of the top 6.
Mate, listen.
What do you think?
If Liverpool got hopes of still getting into
Don't
the top 4,
wait a minute. Don't bother saying that we've got chances of top 4. No, we ain't. No chance. No chance for us.
Listen. How many points do we go behind Liverpool if we win?
Yeah, but that's Liverpool are in 7th, right?
Yeah,
Liverpool,
but how many points do we go behind Liverpool with a win?
1.
So if they're in with an opportunity still, we win this game. How will we not?
They'll be in an opportunity if they win the game. If they win the game, right, they will be on 49
we're not that
points.
far behind. We're not that far behind.
They're right now. They're 5 points off the top 4. Yeah, so they still got a chance. We're not. We're not far. We're miles off.
Late surge. We're going to make that late run.
If we get into the top 4, right, through the league, I know that's Claude that done that. I know it. Claude's had a word with... Claude's been up there. He's had a word with God. Said, yo, do this one for me. Get into the top 4, right? If we get into the top 4, we got no chance, right? But you know what? If you look at the records of... I was looking at the table, and this is really strange, right? Arsenal are in 9th, right? Liverpool in 9th. We've both played 29 games, right? Liverpool have won 13 games this season. Arsenal have won 12 games. It's almost identical. Liverpool have drawn 7 games this season. Arsenal have drawn 6 games. Liverpool have lost 9 games this season. Arsenal have lost 11 games. It's almost... You wouldn't believe that, would you? It's almost like an identical record.
Mate,
you know,
there's
not a lot. There's not a lot. You'd be going into the game and you're thinking, oh yeah, Liverpool, they're the favourites. Liverpool will, but it's a very even matchup. And we also beat them at home. We beat them at home last season. Remember, they were going for the 100 points. They only needed to draw really that game. Yeah. We beat them in that game. We beat them in the Community Shield. All right, they beat us. They beat us earlier on in the season. 3-1. I think that game was a lot closer than the 3-1 suggested. I'm predicting another very close game this weekend.
Yeah. Do you know what, Robbie? If you would have said to any Arsenal fan at the start of the season, when looking at the fixtures, right, we've got Liverpool in April. You will be 4 points behind them. We would have sat there and went, 4 points behind Liverpool in April. We're in a title race. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
All day long, absolutely nobody would have said any different to that because nobody would have felt that Liverpool would have had the season that they've had and how poor it's been for them in terms of their defence of the Premier League title. So, yeah, we can't look at it like... I'm not one of these that's looking at it like, all right, we're only 4 points behind Liverpool. They're a million miles ahead of us. Yeah, they are still a million miles ahead of us. And they're having just a catastrophic season, which I feel they will turn around next season.
They've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, they've had, ironically...
Well documented to their defence.
Yeah, well, it's ironic, really, that we've gave them our medical staff and they picked up all these injuries and we've got none. So, yeah, maybe that was an issue all along. But no, in all seriousness, listen, this is one of the big games of the Premier League calendar. It's, 2 of the 3 biggest teams in English football history. It's got years and years of tradition and huge moments, matches and memorable times and everything else. So, yeah, it's one of those games, man. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens and interesting to see what kind of team Liverpool put out. They, like any team, get most of their players back before they play Arsenal because that seems to happen with everyone.
But you know what's going to be interesting, though, is that they got... Right, so both of us, this is a big week. We got the game on Saturday night, but Tuesday night, they've got Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Thursday night, we've got Slavia Prague, right? So 2 massive games, European games for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
I think also a bit of advantage because Thursday night, even normally we'd be playing on a Sunday before Thursday. We're playing Saturday.
Yeah.
So that game Thursday, you could still look on it and say, we ain't really got to rest nobody.
No.
You can go quite strong because there's quite a long gap between the next game. If anything, you rest players maybe next weekend's game.
Yeah.
But when you look at Liverpool, their game comes very quickly on Tuesday. It's going to be really interesting to see, do they rest a couple? Or do they go with their strongest team? I mean, they've got Real Madrid.
Are they home or away first?
I can't remember. It doesn't matter, does it? You know what I mean?
Their
home form, home away, it doesn't matter. And their home form has been wretched as well. So they've got Real Madrid in the Champions League, which basically that's their only hope of winning a trophy. It might be their only way back into Europe, as regards the Champions League. What do they prioritize? Do they play all the big guns against Arsenal? Because that game is literally a couple of days after, whereas our game isn't until Thursday. That gives us a little bit of an advantage. We know that the majority of the Arsenal team is fit. It's only really Saka that's a doubt. He hasn't really. They said he hasn't really trained properly, and Smith Rowe's a doubt as well. Yeah, and I would have liked to have seen Smith Rowe play actually, but
Yes, look, listen, it's when you look at it in that respect, I don't know whether Liverpool can afford to rest any players because they've got so many injuries. I think they kind of got to go with what they've got because they've been so depleted in so many respects. So maybe if they did have most of their big players, available, then you could say, all right, they'll rest him, and et cetera, et cetera. But I think they might be in a situation where they can't afford to rest anyone. But they definitely got weaknesses that we can exploit. We shouldn't be going
the
into
weaknesses,
this game.
of course. The weaknesses, of course, is at the back.
Yeah.
Without Van Dijk, without Gomez, they haven't looked the same team. They're fullbacks who've been the mainstays of making them so good have not been great this season either. It's almost like teams have sort of worked out a way to play against Liverpool. And I kind of think that Arsenal's one of the first teams to start doing that, where, you looked at a Community Shield where we were hitting diagonals in behind those fullbacks, constantly getting in behind them. I think a lot of teams have adopted that and have given Liverpool a lot of problems. And the one thing you can't take away, though, from Liverpool is despite all the injuries and that, they've still got that one of the best forward lines in world football. Salah, Mane, Firmino, and now that guy Jota as well. He's another one. He's like a dangerous player. He scored against us earlier on in the season. Mane, Salah, Firmino. Get over it, man.
Listen, what did I tell you? I'm stubborn. I'm not getting over it. It was handball. But Firmino, he's had an awful season. Hardly ever scores. But when he plays against Arsenal, he don't even need to look and he scores. So
Mane always scores against us. Salah always scores against us. Now Jota. So it's containing that front 3-4. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it will be. But look, at the end of the day, I think that we've got enough, of our ammunition to be able to hurt them. I would love us to play really, really direct and a bit like we did against West Ham in that second half, on the front foot and really aggressive in the way that we played. And, I think there's some players there that are going to be key to the way that we, play against Liverpool and ultimately whether we will get a result. And, you talk about fullbacks and stuff. I think even the international break has showed the levels of Kieran Tierney. He's playing there alongside Robertson. Don't get me wrong, Robertson's been one of the best fullbacks in the league. But I honestly wouldn't swap him for Tierney. I honestly wouldn't. I'm more than happy with Kieran Tierney. And he's having a better season than Robertson. And he's the standout guy playing for Scotland in their international games. The other night, 3 assists as well. He's doing all the things that we've seen him do.
Faroe Islands.
I couldn't care less.
No, I'll just say steady on.
All right, well, if it's that easy, why ain't Robertson getting 3 assists?
Yeah, no, I'm not. Listen, it's great that you got the 3 assists, but I'm just saying, Faroes.
It doesn't matter. Everyone was going on about Mason Mount and how many assists he got against San Marino. Why is it only when it's an Arsenal player everyone talks about the opposition?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm not. Listen, it's great. It's great that we got a guys on form at the moment. We know what he can do all season, and I agree with you. I wouldn't swap him either. But I'm just saying, those 3 assists were against the Pharaoh. I give 3 assists. If we do 3 assists on Saturday, it's all good. But the 3 assists was against the Pharaoh.
I don't care. Listen, Robbie, if the international break has done one thing, it's recharged my delusion. All right? What it means is that I've got listen, again, because so much has happened this week, it's made you realize that life is so short. And it's like, try and be positive, try and look at the good things. And it's like, I was explaining this even before Claude had passed last week, and I was saying, your heart and your head always tell different stories. You know, people have said to me, you were predicting Arsenal to be in the top 4, but there's a video from you from 3 years ago when you said that when Wenger leaves, you're going to drop down to a top 8. And I said, well, because one's my heart and one's my head. My head is telling me we're going to drop down to a top 8 team and it's going to take 5-6 years to rebuild, and it will take time. My heart, that says that we're the best team in the world and we can beat anyone. We will be challenging for titles and this.
All right. What's your head telling you about this game?
We're going to win.
Your head?
Yeah, my head tells me that we can win this game because we're not playing Man City. You know, if we're playing Man City and I'm telling you that my head says we're going to win, you would ask me to go and get a checkup.
But if Liverpool turn up, it is like we're playing Man City.
On
their day, they can produce them sort of performances as well.
Yes, that's right. But when you look at all their performance predominantly this season as well, and when they come back from breaks, which has not been really good when they've, you know, performed immediately after having rest and stuff like that for internationals or whatever it might be, I look at it and say that we should go into this game with no fear. So my heart and my head tells me the same story in this instant, that we can go and win the game and that we can get the 3 points.
What would be your starting lineup?
Leno, obviously. Cedric, Luiz, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Xhaka, Pepe, Odegaard, Aubameyang, and Lacazette.
Okay.
And the reason why it's Saka, I think, is not done enough and it's still touch and go. Maybe needs a couple more days. So Pepe would have to come into the side. And then Aubameyang would go on that left-hand side. And if Saka was fit, I'd be more tempted to go with Saka and Pepe on the wings and drop Aubameyang from the side.
I actually had literally the same team as you. But I had, on that left-hand side, I had Smith Rowe. But obviously now I'm hearing that, that we're hearing about the injury, because I was going to put Smith Rowe in there for kind of his work and drive and that as well. I was going to have Lacazette up front, and I was going to leave Aubameyang, I was going to leave him on the bench for this game. Yeah. But now that I've seen that, Saka probably start on the bench, so will Smith Rowe he'd probably be on the bench. Because they've got slight knocks. Mm-hmm. I don't know. To me, one of two of either Aubameyang or this could be a game for Martinelli. Because I'm just thinking of the freshness of players, right? And he hasn't, maybe this could be that game where you say, right, you know what, Martinelli, from the start, go in there, work, because I think somebody as well, like a Martinelli, will push those fullbacks back as well. He'll track them, but he can push them back the other way.
Yeah, I get it.
I wouldn't be against a start for with Pepe on one wing, Martinelli on the other. But then I guess the other thing is as well, do you leave Aubameyang out when you're playing Liverpool, when you might need a goal? I think definitely Lacazette as well has to start this game. Again, the freshness of Lacazette. He hasn't been away. And he's on form. He's on form and he scores in big games.
Yeah.
And I know he'll want to do, remember earlier on in the season, he missed the absolute sitter. A one-on-one when we were playing Liverpool. That was a very close game as well. As I said, the 3-1 didn't reflect it. So, give me a prediction.
3-1 win.
I'm going to go 3-1 as well. I was going 2-1, and I don't know if you saw my preview I did. Then this dog came up, right? And the dog came past me twice, right close to me, and I said, "That's 3-1." You carry on laughing, man. I'll go with that. It was too random, man. 3-1.
This is like that Paul the Octopus, isn't it?
Yeah, that dog, man. 3-1. The dog just it's like the dog came up to me to say, the dog was either saying to me 3-1, or the dog was saying, "Yeah, no, man, no."
Nah, the dog was probably looking to piss on your leg. That was.
Then we're going to lose it. No, but he didn't, though. He didn't. The dog could listen. 3-1. I'm going 3-1 as well, right?
Oh, mate.
So looking forward to that game. Big game. As I said, people, don't forget, man. On 19 minutes applause. We're going to do for Claude, right? You're back in, aren't you?
Yes, I am back.
Oh, but I don't even know if that's a good thing or not, man.
Robbie's already thinking, right, do I put the streams on a 20-second delay so I can cut anything he does?
20-minute delay.
Yeah, you need my Wi-Fi. and then you'll be about 2 minutes behind, and you'll be like, right, we can cut that. What did he just do? Just cut that bit where he threw a chair. Just get away from it. And then, oh, mate, seriously. And listen, it's going to be good to be back for me, because obviously it's been a long 4 months for me away. Since contracting COVID myself at Christmas. And obviously people know that I've had to shield and everything, and I've had to...
You've had the second one, right? You've had the second jab.
No, yeah, well, I've had everything all done now. Everything's, I've had to go through the process that I've been doing, and it's been a tough 4 months, man. Tough. And it's... Yeah, and, having football and having the streams like we've done and bits and pieces has kind of kept me going as well, man. And obviously my children, and the family, that's been my saving grace, that I've always got that to be there, to fall on. And yeah, so in that respect, I'm very lucky, because without all of that, it would have been a tough 4 months, man. Yeah. Really tough.
Yeah, and anybody who's out there who's having a tough time during this lockdown, ring somebody, call somebody, talk to people, you know what I mean? And us as well, let's look out for people. If you know somebody, somebody you go football with and you ain't spoken to them for a while, give them a ring. Find out how they're doing, check in on them. I think we need to do a lot more of that, sometimes when somebody's... been having a tough time during this lockdown, stuck at home, you give them a ring, that could brighten up their day. Just a phone call, right? So
yeah, it's like with anything. It's like with anything, Robbie. And I've said this, and I'll be very open when I say this, yeah. But obviously, I've had disagreements with a lot of people. That's my character, and that's who I am as a person. That I'm argumentative at times, and I believe that I'm always right. Who doesn't? And I'm stubborn. And everything else, and that won't change. I will always believe I'm right. I will always argue my point of view. That ain't never going to change for me, all right? But I'm going to, make a conscious effort to not, hold those grudges in that respect. And, it's sad that it takes something like this to give you the kick up the backside that you might need and stuff. But, the first thing that I did after everything was that I contacted troops. And I'm open about that, and I've said it. And, we've had again, we're two people that are very alike, very stubborn, very opinionated, and neither of us will be the first to say sorry. But I messaged him and I said, listen, we need to stop. Life's too short.
Yeah,
and we had a brief conversation, said what we needed to say. He's obviously going back to America and all that for the next couple of months, but we said that once he comes back, in the summer, we're going to meet up, do some content together, and move forward in our lives, because we've spent so much time together over how many years. You can't not form some kind of relationship with people, because you've seen all the highs and lows.
As I said, you know what? I've said this before. Life is a thing. You know, you've got your ups and downs. People get on, fall out of that, but you should never, you know, never take things to. I never take things to heart. And you know, and it's like you said, it's too short. Life is too short, man.
Yeah, man.
Listen, thanks for today. Thanks for everybody for watching the show. Don't forget, I don't have the Just Giving link yet. Once I get that, I'm going to put that in all of our content so that you can, if you want to help out. And the family is not going to anybody else apart from the family. It's all been done by the family. We're just going to try and push it for them. And also send your messages. They really, really, you know, I've been speaking to them all week. They appreciate these messages so much. It's really comforting for them. So keep sending those in. Thank you to everybody for watching this podcast. It's available on all the normal formats. And big game this weekend. Liverpool at home. Let's get a win, Arsenal. Some big, big games coming. We're at the business end of the season now. So let's do the business. Thanks for watching.